Microphones and Monsters is a Creative Typo production. Special thanks to Mead and Patrick T. Arsenault, our executive... Microphones and Monsters is a Creative Typo production. Microphones and Monsters is a Creative Typo production. Special thanks to Mead. Special thanks to Mead and Patrick T. Arsenault, our executive... Why can't I finish the sentence? Microphones and Monsters is a Creative Typo production. I'm just doing it wherever. I'm just saying whatever I want, whenever I want to. What was the other thing that I had to read? Scroll, scroll, scroll. This is the interesting part.
Like I am now.
I am also recording.
I've, against better judgment, decided to record.
I am recording. I am recording.
I'm the one who records.
Just recording.
It's like when everyone stands up and says, I am Spartacus, you know.
Yeah.
I am Spartacus.
Oh, it's I am recording.
I am recording?
May Morons.
This is May.
Yep.
Mayrons.
Mayrons.
I
I
name
didn't
it
even
afterwards.
think about doing a season's Morons, but I don't know if we have time to. Like, we don't have time to today.
No. Well, I mean, this Morons is shorter, so what we can probably do is, because there are fewer episodes, there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes to chat about. And so we can talk about what happened recently, and then overall, you know, we can just, you know.
Yeah, we could just end the episode with us, like, reminiscing about, like, the whole thing, I guess.
Remember when we were on a ship?
Yeah.
Way back when.
Is there going to be a different intro?
We'd worry about
for
season
season
2
two.
days.
It'll be the same. It'll be the same.
Okay.
We had so many friends back then.
It's the Morons intro and outro.
We had
just evolve
friends
into
back
more.
then.
No, I mean like the show.
All of our
Like
friends are
it's like,
gone.
ooh, they set sail, you know, for Farzine. Like we don't set sail in season 2. So
point.
Oh, yeah, it'll be different. Yeah.
okay, cool. That's what I meant.
Gotcha.
But the
I thought you were
but
talking
normal
about for
moron-
the Morons.
No, where I'm an idiot. No, of course you're going to keep that. I can't pronounce
Richard's in
words.
it now. Richard's in it now at the end.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, we got to sync up.
Do we?
I mean, we haven't yet.
Okay, I'll go to the time.is page.
I'm here.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds to
Until
what?
what?
Damn it.
At
Mars.
30 seconds, you clap. All right.
We're so stupid. How do we make the same stupid joke at the same time, Max?
Almost like we share at least 3 brain cells.
I hope.
Generous number.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
there was one I hope for each brain cell.
it's a time
Didn't
timeshare.
Completely unintentional.
Judging by the sounds of tomfoolery and buffoonery, sounds like it's a Morons episode.
Probably.
May Morons.
May 2024
Morons.
Morons.
Yes.
Campaign 2, Ghoul Island.
Mayron's Dagon.
Microphones and
Those
Monsters.
Elder Scrolls
Presents
people.
Microphones and Morons. Ghoul Island. Season 1, May 2024
Directed by Hideo
Episode.
Kojima.
of Morons.
Music composed by Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Oh, welcome,
Hans
everybody.
Mazzy.
Hi. Hans Snazzy.
All right.
Oh,
doing?
all right.
We have to like.
Sorry,
actually,
I'm in-
We have to get into show mode.
I'm
We
locked
can't
into a
just
stretch
babble
right now. I
today.
need to do it. 1 second. Okay, there we go.
Stretch over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why everyone's just leaving me and Max in charge. We're never going to get
Well,
started. if
it's
this
I
happens.
have to
Max has to start it.
I have to
Oh,
stretch
Max has to start it.
because
He has to get ready.
I'm looking at this long list of patrons and I gotta prepare
Oh
myself
man, that
for
stinks.
it. Why does it stink?
I hate patrons. Ugh,
All right.
it's so long.
Uh,
if fewer people were patrons, I wouldn't have so much work to do.
Okay.
Says Max.
I've just got word from the patrons. Steven has been sacked. We're thankful for all his hard work and hopefully his future plans will be fruitful. That decision was made by the following patrons. Special shout out to Pepaw Nuggle. That just threw me through a loop. Okay.
And we're done.
Stephanie Rodriguez, Seamus Rodriguez, Chris with a K, J and an S, Papa Nurgle, Michael Cross, Lacey S, G, Chunky and Funky, Sarah, Nari Kwok, Nick Mead, Jeffrey Lee, and Patrick T. Arsenal. Greatly appreciate
Thank you,
it.
everybody.
Thank you very,
Thank you
very
so
much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Cool. So we had more adventures this month.
No, we didn't. You
as per
goddamn
usual.
liar. We had traumas.
No, adventures. Like literally, the very
Horrible,
first
horrible
one of the very
adventures.
first things that happens is that Xerothin's wound closes up.
Wound.
His wound, and then Lucius heals Izzodath's wound from the previous fight.
So
where
we start with healing, which is nice, isn't it?
yeah.
We're on
the,
our road to
the
therapy.
previous fight that Izzodath didn't want to do, and Xerothin was like, "No, you must love murder."
Just
Listen.
bullying me into killing things.
Listen, love is love, okay? Don't judge.
Also, Rufus. This is episode 37, Investigation, Part 6 of
It's a long
Microphones
investigation.
and Monsters
Mm-hmm.
Campaign 2 Ghoul Island, Season 1. But Rufus asked Lucius what the bottle he found when he, got them attacked by a ghoul. He asked him what that was, and it's apparently a potion of climbing, so that's cool. Rufus doesn't really need a potion of climbing because he can already climb. He offers it to Lucius. Lucius just holds it for him.
I mean, as he is wont to do.
Oh, wait, no. Does Lucius hold it for him? I don't even remember. Whatever.
I don't know. He does tend to hold things for Rufus, though.
He does.
It's
Rufus is
not
only 8 pounds.
It's not important. Will not be pivotal later. I can tell you that as much.
only 8 pounds.
Mhm.
So we go forward and we find like a what I believe Adam described as a 3-way passage. It was getting pretty confusing. There's one that was like just caved in, so you couldn't go that way. Then there was another one, like a big open one. And then there was a little windy one. And Izzodath is like, we should take the little windy one because then we can look forward and know we're only going to get attacked moving forward. And Xerothin says, no,
That's
we have to
stupid.
go in this big open one.
You gotta
I'm not gonna
have
explain myself, though.
you gotta have room to maneuver and do cool sick flips and stuff.
Oh, and so
Yeah,
everyone
how'd that go for you?
consigns
Shut up.
to do what Xerothin said, and then we move forward and immediately find that one's also collapsed. So we got to take the one Izzodath wanted to go anyway.
Well, it wasn't collapse. It was just a dead end cavern with
Okay.
piles
See, I
of-
told you it was confusing.
Bones.
pile of bones from like a last stand
Thousands.
here.
Oh yeah,
against-
that's what I wrote in the notes.
yeah.
Oops. I wrote that summary like 2 days ago. I wrote the other ones yesterday. So we don't go that way. We go the little windy way instead. And as we're going through with our fearless leader Xerothin, we hear a little scrapey noise. And then he turns the corner and there's a mist, and then the mist forms into an unman. It's a vaguely humanoid shape stretched into an impossibly gangly parody of an emaciated human. I forgot to put the quote marks around that, but I directly quoted Adam.
I'm sorry. Where's the citation? We need citation.
Yeah, I didn't see a citation
Yeah,
of the
I
notes.
didn't put a footnote.
That's what an unman looks like. Yeah.
It's a ghostly,
Yeah. So
wacky,
it's a
inflatable
ghost.
tube man.
It's just a gangly ghost. But we start a battle again because we haven't had one of those in an episode. And so since the immediate episode before this one, Rufus goes first, but he misses, except he doesn't because Adam got it wrong and Rufus did hit. Yay, Rufus. The unman shambles up and tries to hit Rufus at Xerothin's feet. And so it's just a gangly ghost waving its arms around Xerothin's feet trying to catch a cat.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Yeah. So technically, and I tried to hint to this, it is a type of ooze, actually. So it like created that puddle later.
Oh, I didn't catch that. The
I did
unman
not
is
either.
Ooze. We hadn't fought Ooze in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Have we fought Ooze this campaign before now? I don't think we
No.
have.
This campaign, no.
No,
So,
no,
yeah,
no
we-
oozes.
We haven't fought Ooze since the last campaign.
Or we haven't fought a black pudding either. That's another one too. Of the
Black pudding.
Ooze family.
Black pudding.
Yeah.
So we, Rufus doesn't get hit because he's super cool, and he's like, "No, get away from me!" And then I made a hiss sound like a cat. I thought it was very cool of me to do that. And that was the end of the episode. And now there's only 5 left in the entire season.
Gasp.
Yep,
What's
it
gonna
ends
happen?
here. Sorry, guys.
Well, if people have listened to the show up until now, then they will know what happened. But I will tell you what happened again in a slightly amusing way. Lucius tries to do a sacred flame, and it doesn't work. Xerothin uses hammer arm, and he hits him real good, only it's just sort of boing, it bounces off of him.
Bullshit.
Because it's like it didn't do magic damage. I don't know for sure if unmen just don't take damage that isn't considered magic, or if it was that it was bludgeoning damage.
It's an
on
oozy
an
thing.
ooze.
They built different.
So it was unclear. But because Rufus does slashing damage, that's why he was able to damage it, and Xerothin was not. Izzodath uses Shillelagh.
No,
and
Rufus does magic damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
did
then
damage
see,
because
there I
of
was right.
magic.
Mhm.
I pulled it out of Adam. See how I acted like I was stupid?
I thought we went over that in the game.
I just hit
Yeah,
him.
it kind of went over
like
that.
I
'cause
thought
was-
we even established that Shillelagh also was a magical weapon.
Yeah,
Yes,
and Xerothin isn't magic.
I
No,
feel
he's not
pretty
magic.
damn magical, Adam. I'm sorry. I think you
Like
need to
if
take that back
Xerothin did
right
the
now.
thing where you wave your hands over your head in an arch, a rainbow would not form.
Mm.
Well, like
It
if
would
you
be
look
a
at like
stormy
Marvel,
cloud.
like a magic caster casts magic, but Venom isn't considered magic.
He's an
It's a
alien.
living creature. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Excuse me. Someone cut that out.
No.
But
Sarah, leave that in.
But between Rufus's hit and Izzodath's hit, this unman goes down. Apparently, unmen are not very dangerous; they're just spooky. And so,
Can be.
Izzodath and Rufus share a little moment, because they successfully fought this thing together. And Xerothin's like, ugh, I don't know if that actually happened in the
Ghost.
episode, but you can imagine it happening where Rufus is like, good job, Izzodath, and then, oh, thank you, Rufus. And then Xerothin's just standing in the corner like, how you doing, my hammer on?
I couldn't fight him.
If I remember right, we shared a little high five while Xerothin was just standing
Yeah.
frustrated in the background.
Yeah, the little paw goes up and just bam.
Listen,
And you're short, so you didn't even have to duck down very
I want
high.
one thing in life, and I couldn't even get that at this point. So I was very fussed.
Yeah. All you want is murder.
I
and
do-
you couldn't
and
murder.
fight. I like
and it's
fight.
so frustrating when you
It doesn't
can't
have
murder.
to be murder. Mostly fight.
Let's not kid ourselves. Xerothin fights to murder.
Well, hey, if they
He
die,
doesn't
that's
fight
their
to
fault.
fight.
Okay.
They go hand in hand, don't they?
Listen, them dying was a choice that they made.
Okay. So, like us, the group gets back on the right track after this. I'm presuming that we're going to get on the right track. And then we go, we find a warm, tight, squeezy tunnel into a big, hot, smelly, excrement, musk-rotting meat cave.
I don't like anything about what you just described.
That is exactly, yeah.
I don't think any of us liked that. And the tunnel was small enough to where Xerothin and Lucius both had to sort of squeeze their way through. They couldn't just easily walk through like Izzodath and Rufus just sort of strolling. And Xerothin was at the front, Lucius was at the back, and the other two were in the middle. And then right as Lucius is about to come out of that opening, we get attacked by 2 ghasts in that giant, smelly, gross room. And then there's a battle for like an episode and a half. So lots of battle happens. Rufus misses. The gas go for Xerothin. He puts up his fleshy shield. I can go through this slash by slash unless we don't want to.
Now we're good.
But okay, yeah. So, I'm just going to read what I wrote and then I'll summarize. Let's see here. Okay, Lucius misses a sacred flame. Gas bites him. He scoots back in the tunnel. Rufus slashes at him at the gas, gets between, Lucius and them. Izzodath is out there fighting. She sticks her tail out at some point. Lucius uses guiding bolt, which gives radiant damage, which is especially effective against the ghasts because they live underground and stuff, so they get sunburned really easily.
Just like the worst sunburns.
I don't know if Adam ever explicitly explained it, but that's why, is that they, live underground.
Sure
and so I don't know. You said something along those lines, but I don't know. You may have.
It's very effective.
It was you said it was very effective. You didn't ever 100% distinguish why. I think it was just implied very well.
Yeah.
So I'm
Super
explaining
well
for
implied.
all of our very slow audience members.
Wow. Steve is exceptionally spicy today.
I love the audience, and I am very, very grateful that they listen to us because I don't know why. Izzodath kills a ghast, it snaps its neck. Rufus gets a sneak attack, real good on the next one, and then that battle's over. So Rufus, after that happens, there's two paths that leave out of this room. Rufus checks both of them, and they're about the same anyway, and so we take the right one, I believe, because this room looks like it exists for the ghast to wait for stuff to roll up, and then they jump on it and kill it and eat it.
Yeah, they're not used to things able to fight back. It's definitely like using the squeeze, because that room was called the squeeze.
Yeah.
So every entrance into it was things had to, like, just a very narrow path to get through, whether they were small or medium or whatever, and easy to ambush stuff.
We were like that last little bit out of like a Go-Gurt container. You have to squeeze just a little bit out, and then that's the gas trick right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ghasts always get the last of the Go-Gurt.
Yes, they do.
And
then they
no
die.
one's ever said it. That's one of those brand new sentences that no one's ever said before. Anyway, we go through it. We go through one of the tunnels that we found, and the next room is worse than the previous room. Because this room is just full of awful, I believe is how Adam described it, or the book described it, or both Adam and the book. There's trash in there. There's excrement. It's gross.
Refuse.
In this room. So Rufus decides, because we can't see the ceiling because it's so high, Rufus runs up the wall and looks, and there's just a bunch of small little holes in the ceiling. And Rufus doesn't go to investigate a specific hole because I don't know if Rufus can walk on the ceiling anyway. And, if all that stuff's in the room, then where these holes go, it's probably not hard to imagine given the rest of the description of the island. And so while he's up there, Izzodath is digging in the filth on the ground for some reason and does not cut herself.
She is successful on her sepsis save.
Yes. Didn't find shit. But
no, that's all you found.
Could have been worse.
That's all you found, yeah.
But you also found the broken glass in there and did not cut yourself. And then Xerothin's like, "Why are you digging in the trash?" And he wants to move forward because we haven't killed anything in 5 minutes now.
Freaking dumpster child.
The Rufus looks down. There's two paths out of this room. Rufus looks down the left one, and there's a smell there. I started to get really confused when I was listening to this. But there was some sort of smell down the left path that was kind of noxious. So Rufus didn't go down that way. So he went down the right one and found two more paths. And each one of them went off to the same kind of noxious smell. The other one went to a big old room of it went to another spot with two paths, and one of the paths led to bones, and the other path led to noxious smell. But both the left and right path had a soft dirt spot that looked like there was the ability to dig through. And so we all decided, after much discussion, that we would dig in to the thing from the side of one of them. I forget which one we went down. But we went
You
down
went
one
on
of them.
Left one.
The left one,
path.
and then we went in the dig spot. And then we found a beautiful little sanctuary, save spot. We found a save spot.
We took down the
Yeah,
invisible wall. We found a bonfire. We rested. God Estes. All good.
Yeah, well, no, it's like we're on the RPG and we hit in a particularly hard, long section where we had to fight 3 extra battles we didn't know we were going to fight. And then there's like the little box with the S on it. And we're like, ooh. And when we jump on the box.
The save room.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah. Pull up the tent.
And then when we got in there, because Xerothin was like, I'm not digging. Then Rufus was like, you have to admit that it was a good idea to come in here. And then I
don't.
my ace Cardic inspiration to be very persuasive to the man who will not agree with me no matter what.
We're talking about Xerothin, right?
Yes.
Sure.
And so it was a fun conversation to have. Because Rufus made some very good points and Xerothin was not having it anyway.
Never has there been petty use of Cardic inspiration
was,
other than this.
But it was good and like it succeeded in a way because Rufus's like argument was so enjoyable to have for Xerothin that he was laughing by the end of it.
Yeah, that's what happened. It wasn't that I thought that you were absolutely pitiful at all, and I thought you were a joke.
I wasn't pitiful. Rufus he was standing up real straight, looking real firm at you. Like, no,
he's standing up on your back legs, doing pawing at me.
No, he wasn't on his back legs. He was on all fours, all majestic and everything. He was probably standing on a rock, so he was a little bit taller, and just making his case. It was very moving, I think. It was a fun conversation.
It was fun.
It was worth it. And if I hadn't used the ace, then we would have just ended the session anyway.
Yeah.
So it was the very end of the session that I had an ace Cardic inspiration, and I wanted to do something fun with it. All right. So that was the end of episode 39. So now we're halfway through the month already. Episode 40, investigation part 9 of Microphones and Monsters, Ghoul Island. Izzodath helps Rufus clean off, not by jumping straight in the little pool of wonderful clean water, but just like, gently wiping. Xerothin tries to eat his rations and they're gross.
Suck.
And it's not because they've spoiled, it's because Xerothin has spoiled.
I've fermented like a fine wine.
Now Xerothin really
Yes, vinegar.
feels
Toilet
this
wine.
unnatural, unresistible desire to essentially eat the raw flesh of things that he kills. Is that more or less accurate?
It's more so just fresh, recently living things other than like dried fruits and nuts and meat and stuff.
But you were like sushiing it up. You weren't like, cooking the fish by the fire. You were just tearing in the raw fish.
like pulling it up and like just eating like the underside of a fish. Like that's because that's usually where like the fatty part is on a fish, and just slurping it all up.
I like to think that Xerothin bit the head off
Yes,
first.
like corn on the cob.
Cod on the cob.
Caught on the cob, yeah.
Like, Xerothin did the thing where he puts the entire fish in his mouth and pulls it out, and it's just the bones in the skull.
And as I'm
like in a
doing that,
cartoon.
the fit is like wiggling in my mouth.
Yeah, and so Lucius is like, "Oh, you seem a little intense, buddy," and Xerothin's like, "If I go completely nuts, you gotta promise to kill me."
Yeah,
Which definitely sounds
not
like something a
expecting
sane
that.
person would say.
I was not expecting that or the monologue.
picture stability.
And then Lucius goes over and is like, "Xerothin's really kind of nuts now." We're like, "Yeah,
Yeah, we know.
gotta watch him."
I've noticed.
It kind of reminded me of one of the conversations that Victor and Julian had about Alistair in our previous campaign, where we're like, we got to watch out for him. He's a little off.
There's always one.
Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes two.
So everyone goes to sleep after that, and Xerothin has a nightmare.
everyone has nightmares.
No, yeah.
Well, he's doing one
Technically
at a
everyone
time.
has
Oh, yeah.
nightmares. But yeah, Xerothin has a nightmare, and he's got all these flashbacks of like blood-soaked people, this horrible massacre, and he's trying to find Casper.
Casper, you bastard!
I can't remember I can't remember that. Casper is much
Casper.
easier to remember. Only this Casper isn't a friendly ghost. It is a horrible person that he's trying to chase down. And there's other backstory stuff. And then the voice is like, Xerothin, I will guide you, And he also gets Yog-Sothothery after this dream.
Yes.
And so the voice presumably will be helping with Yog-Sothothery stuff at some point.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Because before this, only
Turn right.
Lucius had Yog-Sothothery in our party, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yes.
Izzodath has another nightmare about like this big behemoth and the thing, and the twin was in there, and also she had some bark skin, and so now she can do bark skin. Rufus dreamt that something was going to hurt Mr. Mouse, and he stopped it. And Lucius dreamt something, and he doesn't remember what it was because he's an old man. Adam didn't really plan for the other two of us to have dreams, but we felt it wasn't fair if everyone didn't have a nightmare. Because up until this point, we all have nightmares together.
It's a group activity.
Group nightmares.
Yeah.
We all get up in the morning. We go towards the bone room, which was one of the things that we found that didn't smell noxious. And then immediately, Izzodath and Xerothin don't want to go in there because they failed their dread saves and got 2 levels of dread. And they're like, nope, not going in the bone room.
Let's go into the awful
It was
noxious
either
room.
leave them there, and Lucius and Rufus power forward into a giant room full to the brim of bones,
That
or
are
we go
undulating.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the undulating bones. That's right, bones that undulate. It was the pile that undulated. The bones themselves didn't undulate.
know
I'm
that.
pretty sure.
The
They
pile
wouldn't be
of
very good bones if they
undulated.
undulated. And so
Yeah.
instead of that, we go the other way, and we find this big, gross, smelly, sulfury, boiling, muddy cavern with a couple like islands in it and an obvious exit point on the other side. Also, someone passed a survival check. I can't remember who because I didn't write it down. And I think it was everyone but Xerothin noticed that there were no ghoul tracks in here. So this is obviously not somewhere that the ghouls who I'm trying to find maybe in these underground caverns don't go to. So naturally, we are driven forward past it, while we're
It's
looking
too
for
hot
the
in there
ghouls.
for ice cream.
Yeah, there's no ice cream. Did we have ice cream?
No.
I'm gonna check my notes.
I would have been a much
If
happier
we
and
did,
stable
it was
individual
gone
if
by
I
the
had
time
ice
we walked
cream.
into this room.
All right.
So that's what Xerothin's problem is.
So we
No ice cream.
determined that we need to cross this. And Xerothin's like, let's go. And he just starts jumping across. He's like, I'm not going back to that bone room. And Rufus is like, I didn't say you had to.
Listen, I imagine this whole scene like Metroid Prime and Magmore Caverns. I could do all of those jumps blindfolded. I've played that game so many times. It's exactly how I felt doing this.
I still have to play Metroid Prime. I never
Please do.
did.
It's so good.
I wasn't very good at the other Metroid games.
This would, it's,
And anyway,
yeah.
Prime is very different.
We'll talk about
this
that
isn't
later.
the recommendation portion of
We'll
the
get
show.
there. We'll get there.
Xerothin jumps successfully to the first little island because there's 2 of them, and then there's the end. Rufus jumps after him. He's like, no, don't do it. We can go back. It'll be fine. And Lucius is like, I'm not quite going over there. And then
Homer
he's like,
Simpson.
I'm going to make an angel. Adam, is that okay? Can it teleport us? And then there was a conversation between Lucius and Adam about whether the angel could teleport people. And then we decide that it's cool as long as we stick to the same rules that we have the whole time. And so Lucius comes up with the plan of, you get over there, and then the angel's going to carry us back and forth until we're all over there.
Unfortunately, though, everybody gets poisoned.
Yeah,
Except for me.
Izzodath Izzodath holds back with Lucius. Rufus is like, okay, I'm going to go back. Because I figure one jump is better than two. And I didn't want to roll a nat one and fall in boiling mud as an 8-pound cat. So I jump back, but I fail the Constitution save. And so I get poisoned. And then Izzodath is like, I'll save you, Rufus. And runs over and gets poisoned while she carries him back. And everyone's vomiting. And then Xerothin finishes jumping over. The angel teleports us, but first we all have to walk into the room. And so Lucius walks out into the room and gets poisoned.
That's the way it goes.
So now 3 members of our 4-person party have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
Xerothin throwing his arms
Until
up in the
we
air
leave-
in triumph as he gets to the other side like Rocky.
Until we
can get
leave
fresh
the
air
underground
while
caverns.
We're underground.
Yeah, until we get the fresh air, from like probably at least a mile or 2 underground. It's great.
We're doing well.
We go on in, and we go into the little tunnel that we saw on the other side, and we come out, and there's this big temple. And the temple is like set into the wall-ish or something like that. It's kind of like how it is. And it is covered in carved Wicklamite eyes, which is like the worst thing you could tell us it was covered in.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, yeah, or at least pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been covered in bones. We've dealt with bones before. It could have been covered in offal. It could have been covered in
Carved
something
Wicklemite
else.
butts.
Anything else. It could have been covered in kava, the wonderful hallucinogenic drink. But instead, it was Wicklamite eyes, which is terrifying.
I'm starting to wonder if this whole thing's just going to end up as like one big like kava hallucination.
It's still day 1 of us being in.
We're just
Xerothin wakes up at Kava's respite. It's like, oh, what a dream.
there's just this exceptionally large pile of drool where I just blacked out.
And he gets back up, and they're just like, "Oh, well, Xerothin, we were able to talk to everyone and get our friends out, and we can all leave now.
Yes,
Everything's
the
good."
ship's
got
3 built.
paid.
We're leaving.
The ship's fixed.
The ship just had, aesthetic damage. It wasn't anything structural.
Also,
We're all ready to go.
also, you're no longer a weird mutant monster. So, I mean, you just needed a good night's rest, I guess.
Xerothin, where'd your orange scars go?
I don't know.
They were yellow. I don't know. It's yellow-orange.
Yellow-orange.
So anyway, there's this big old temple, and it's bad. And Xerothin's voice is like, this is a temple of I can't do that voice because Adam puts effects on it. Gatnathoa, and Lucius also knows that, but he knows more stuff like how it's bad. And if you see Gatnathoa or an image of him, then you turn into a mummy.
Insta-mummy.
And it's bad.
Insta-mummy.
We hear a noise and realize that it's more gas coming around the bend, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta hide!" And Rufus hides. Everyone else trips and is poisoned and is
What are we supposed
ready
to
for
do?
battle and all of that. So, and then we roll for initiative, and I've got half a page of what happens in this thing. The short version is everyone misses for the most part. A ghast bites an angel on its wing tube.
Yes.
I gotta fix that.
important
It says
thing, the
wig
wing
tube. I gotta fix that. It's wing tube. Thank you.
Big tube.
And we eventually kill these 4 ghasts. It's a pretty neat fight though. You should just listen to the episode because if I recap it, it's not gonna be nearly as good. So we've got the Xerothin roars in triumph after he kills the last ghast. Lucius heals Izzodath.
I get to hit something! Yay!
You not only got to hit it, you got to murder it.
Did.
And then Adam does a little narration as the narrator, talking about, we're going into the temple or something. And then all of us have our own little epilogue or monologue. A monologue epilogue.
Standing in different corners of the cave talking to ourselves.
Well, no, you guys all
I
have
imagine
sort
y'all
of,
were like lined up at the.
We took turns at the confessional.
Or the
We're off to see the wizard. We're about to go in a giant green building.
we
The
all
four
have
of
the
us linking
same
arms.
We have the cutaway interviews like they have on reality TV shows.
Yeah.
You even have a small animal walking at your feet. You know, it's just 3 of you instead of 4.
Listen, I'm only doing this so I can form an alliance to get past selection at the end of this episode.
I mean, we've got a little girl, we've got a lion man, we've got a small animal, and I guess Lucius is, you know, he doesn't have a brain. I don't know.
Is that what you're going to ask
He knows,
the
though.
wizard
He
for?
knows a lot of stuff.
I mean, he
Yeah.
has a brain, but it's kind of absent
Well, so did
sometimes.
so did the scarecrow. That's the thing. That's the and then Xerothin is like the cowardly lion and the 10 man with no heart put together.
Yes.
He always had courage, and he does have a heart, probably. Otherwise, he probably
Well, I
wouldn't have
mean-
been able to laugh.
Lucius could have a bad heart at his age.
There
That's
we go.
probably also true.
It's all those
Plus,
pork
the
rinds.
lion's always trying to get the small
It's all
animal.
those pork rinds you ate over 50 or however old you are years.
But yeah,
Like
that is the
150.
end of the season. We have finished season 1 of this campaign,
Survived.
and we all survived
Great.
So far.
Give it time.
with
So
only
far.
moderate damage. Except me, I got no damage.
You didn't get damaged
No
at all?
damage?
I didn't get damaged at all yet. All 3 of you you've been damaged a lot.
That's fine.
Lucius got bit in the
I wonder
hand
why.
Lucius got bit in the hand by the ghast. Izzodath has gotten slashed at least once, maybe twice.
I got hit a few times
but
for
Rufus
small
just hasn't
damage.
been. The closest Rufus got was the unman trying to grab him at Xerothin's feet, and it just didn't work.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Yep. But that's the entire campaign. That's 42 episodes.
Doesn't
Amazing.
seem like a lot, to be honest.
How many weeks is that? There's 2 episodes a week.
That
So
was,
42 divided by
9
2?
sessions. 9 sessions.
26 weeks, half a year. Is that right?
Doesn't seem like
Yeah,
half a
it's
year.
half a year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
It
I
ended
mean, something like that, yeah.
May 20th
Wow.
was
May
was the
20.
last episode. And we started January
Wow.
1st.
Yeah, half a
See?
year. That's pretty sweet. I have to pee.
On that note, we'll be right back, folks.
Hmm.
Ad break.
There you go. Just old.
Like physical therapy's been kicking my ass for the
Mhm.
past 2 weeks and just going for a walk.
In my case, I was on my feet for the most part for like 12 hours yesterday.
Ugh.
Yeah. Had to get work early and had to stay late.
There we go.
I'll feel
Me
like that
too.
when I have to mow the grass soon.
Luckily, I did that a couple days. I did it Wednesday. That's
The HOA does it for me.
Nice.
That is super nice. Wow. You heard it here first, folks. HOA actually worth it.
No.
no.
I'm also
Still not.
having to have my driveway pressure washed because I got a letter in the mail because my neighbor, well, there's a tree directly above my driveway, and so it gets especially gross looking. Nah.
Especially gross.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
And
first
welcome
world
back.
problems. Welcome back, everybody.
Sorry, we had a
I'm
brief
feeling
tirade
better.
about the HOA.
It wasn't really a tirade.
No, it wasn't.
It was more like,
But they don't need to know that. We can edit that out and make it seem like we did. The
Mm-mm.
magic
Not
of
for the
editing.
patrons, though.
No.
I'll
the
be in
patrons.
there.
Patrons, you don't say
Oh,
a damn
good.
thing about this.
Yeah, Morons doesn't even get an extra episode because everything stays in because it's just Morons.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make them a special release that's just the same.
You know, I would like to
We'll just
say
put special on it. They'll never know.
five seasons later, we could not have come up with a better name for our, talk about our show episodes.
Yeah, no, it was perfect from the moment of inception.
Episode 0 got
Although
Microphones
this-
and Morons.
This year is especially good because you have the special image for the Morons episode,
Yeah.
which we did
yeah.
not have last time.
And I really appreciate it.
I like
too.
that.
Yeah, and the cover art for this season was done by Lindsay, who's in our community.
It's cool looking.
Thank you, Lindsay. I was not aware of that. So
Neither was I.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's done some stuff for AFQ. She
What's
did
that?
the Fool's Quest.
I know.
A farcical question.
Audience surrogate.
Well,
She
that's
also did the
another show.
Also did the artwork for Ethereal Embrace and Dread Tech.
Neat.
Very cool.
We love us some Lindsay.
So we should talk a little bit about the season overall, I think.
Yeah.
It's
The
my
season,
idea.
the retrospective.
It's not anyone
Mhm.
else's idea.
Okay.
It was mine purely.
I mean, it was.
It was my idea.
Like, we're not, nobody's denying it.
Great idea, Steven.
All right.
Thank you,
So
Sarah.
smart.
That means
I'm so glad Sarah's here to support me.
that means you go
It's much
first.
nicer than it used to be.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, I
Choose your
very
words
much enjoy.
carefully.
I very much enjoy doing the show with Max and Richard and Adam, but like encouraging, like that's not really the word I would use.
All we do
So-
is tear you down.
So, you know what? I've got a great idea. Sarah, how was your first season on the show?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's awful. I'm quitting.
Okay. Cool.
Adam,
You
isn't
still,
that dying?
you still have to edit though. You're not backing out of that.
Damn.
She walks in the temple and falls down a trapdoor, and then she's just gone.
No,
She
I've,
went
I've
further down than everybody else.
yeah, I hit rock bottom.
No,
it's been
The further
it's-
down you go in this podcast, the worse things get.
it's true.
Down is definitely
Historically,
the worst
It's
direction.
it's held true for the previous 4 seasons, and we even have gone down for the last bit of this arc, and it's just gotten worse as we've gotten. So
Mhm.
anyway, you were saying, Sarah.
Yes, no, it's been tons of fun. It's definitely slightly different campaign than I've participated in previously. And Max and I are playing in multiple campaigns right now, and this is a really like nice diversion from the more true Benny Hill campaigns that we're in everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I've thoroughly enjoyed the storyline, and I mean everyone's characters I think is just a fun concept, and it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome, Richard. What do you think about the season so far, or the first season? I don't know. So far, now that it's over, so far.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's been going pretty well. Like I personally am very intrigued to see where all of this is actually going.
Mhm.
And like I keep kind of getting like little bits and pieces that kind of lead my mind off into all kinds of different directions that sometimes get supported by later revelations, and sometimes it's just, oh nope, well that's definitely the wrong thing. But
Yeah.
I kind of like that air of mystery to it, like where like you can never really be quite sure what's going to happen next with it.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly,
Yeah.
the choices we don't make.
Yeah, because one thing that this campaign that has that's different from the previous campaign is the previous campaign was more or less just Adam winging it. Like he had a really good structure and plan out for like where it was going to go, but a lot of it depended on where we went, and he had to roll with it. And then there were some times where he threw out his old plan and started a new plan, and all of a sudden we're in a submarine. And so
it definitely bent a little bit to like our whims, like with the previous campaign. But with this campaign, like we kind of have that track that we have to at least stay nearby.
Yeah, because I think the previous campaign also was, I'd say so far at least, based on what we've played, even stuff that we've played a little bit beyond where we are now, but even so, like where we're going and where we're at, the story in the previous one was a lot bigger story. This is a smaller story in some ways, because it's on one island, and there's a small cast of characters that we've interacted with, and so like it's more confined, and so that way it's helping us tell a story different. It's not a rehash of the first campaign, which I think works really well.
The first campaign for sure.
Because I know Adam still wings it just a little bit. He's still making decisions behind the scenes, and he's changing things if we really need it changed.
Just because it's in the book doesn't mean you have to. You're beholden to
right.
it.
The book is a guideline. Like it's an overarching structure of a campaign.
Yeah.
And like you're free to move that around and alter it as you go. But I mean, it just kind of gives you something to kind of come back to and and anchor you all down.
Yeah, because this is only the second full campaign I've done, and the previous one was our last season. And so coming in from having never played a campaign from a book, from a guide, from the beginning, I've had to adjust a little bit of what I'm doing in order to understand how we're supposed to interact with everything. It's been a fun challenge for me as well.
Try not to take away your agency of choice.
Right.
Even though there's some guidelines, but I feel like the biggest part, and I'm not trying to derail y'all's individual commentary, but I guess to kind of answer
we already kind of did
that.
There's
no structure to this. I'm just winging it.
The biggest thing I think that allows it to or it doesn't allow it to escalate into going way off the rails is that you don't have any protection from dread like you did in the other campaign. The other campaign, you could just barrel through shit, just because.
And we did.
Yeah.
The only thing we didn't really barrel through was
you throwing the barrels.
Is the old one, it's you just finished a fight and now here he is. Experience him in real time right now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So y'all were able to y'all were more superheroes in the other one, where this one you do have these abilities and stuff like that, but you're more grounded.
We have to be a little more resourceful.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a giant challenge.
And very, very cautious about what's around the next corner. So, I mean, playing that into it as well, I'm always mindful, or at least try to be always mindful. Do I have second wind? Do I have action surge? Because I'm not going to burn that in the first encounter that I see, because I'll just get screwed later on.
Agreed. I have definitely been having to ration my spells.
Yep. I'm so glad that I decided to do another melee character instead of trying to jump into spells. We'll see what happens in the future. I might want to play a spellcaster in the next campaign.
I mean, I would definitely recommend it at some point, but I definitely understand wanting to get more familiar with the game as a whole before diving into it.
Do it.
And you'd think I'd be familiar by now, but I mean, you hear me when I'm playing.
I totally get taking a few campaigns to really get comfortable with the rules. That's totally understandable.
Do a cleric. I think cleric is pretty good for a first time caster, because you have access to a lot of spells. You don't have to really worry about which spell do I want to prepare for and use today.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know how.
Or
it works.
learn, for that matter, because you have to learn the spells. Whereas a cleric, you have access to the spells within a given domain. You don't have to learn them.
So you don't have to lock in your spell picks. You can kind of try stuff out and change it around a lot. I agree. It's definitely a much more
is
friendly,
Lucius a cleric? I forget.
Yeah,
Lucius is a cleric. Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to copy Lucius.
You don't have to, dude.
You don't have to copy.
Cleric. There's so many cleric domains.
I know. I was just kidding.
It is wild.
What are we talking about? We still got what? How many more seasons left on this one?
Dude, I've already rolled
three more.
I've already
we do know
3 more.
There's 3 more.
I've already put together,
Adam knows.
Built my next character, got it named, working on the backstory right now. That is in the chamber.
I have put no thought whatsoever into my next character.
Nope.
The only thought I put in is maybe I want to try casting. But it's been fun for me to play the rogue instead of the monk, because I don't have multiple attacks, so I got to make my attack count. I can do another attack, but it's definitely going to be less effective. And so having to figure out a new way, and also playing as a cat, that
playing as cat's fun.
I'm a cat that hits things. That's my cat scratches me, and so I know what it feels like, but she doesn't have razor blades for claws, even though sometimes it feels like it. They're still sharp. And so that's been a lot of fun so far in this campaign is playing a different type of character. I only played the monk for how long was it? How long did we play that campaign? 2 years?
2 years.
I think we released for a little bit longer than that, but we played for like 2 years straight, and I was just the pages of Monk, so
Right.
So I haven't expanded much. So now I'm playing just off the pages of Rogue, and so it makes it.
And you had that brief experience of Guy McPherson.
Oh yeah, Guy McPherson. Well, no, I wasn't. No, that was Alistair.
Oh,
Victor
were
was Norm.
Norm.
The normal
That's right.
human.
The normal human, yeah.
I'm Norm, the normal human. If you haven't listened to us play we played a special where our characters from the first campaign played a game of Cyberpunk Red after it first came out. You should go back and listen to that because that's a hoot.
That was a lot of fun.
I recently re-listened to most of it with my wife when we were on vacation because we were just doing a lot of driving, and it was hilarious.
It was a lot of fun, and we still reference that a little bit here and there.
I was about to say, honestly, I'd still be down to, at some point in time in the future, do a Cyberpunk Red campaign. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I don't know. I like playing a D&D character playing other games. That's really fun.
I mean, who's to say we couldn't?
It's true.
Yeah. Yahtzee! I've got a full house. 3 5s and 2 6s. Okay,
Give me Boardwalk or I will kill you.
No, then you'll get a Monopoly, and I don't want you to have
That's why it's called Monopoly.
I know, but I've got 3 of this orange one. So you've got to pay me $2,000.
I want to put down housing on the properties that I own.
You have to build it equally. You can't just put 3 houses under one by itself. Anyway.
So moving on.
I don't know what we're moving on to.
Max has not shared his thoughts on.
Yeah. Share your
Campaign.
intimate thoughts with us.
Can't do
That's
that.
not
Sorry,
dangerous.
Sarah's here.
What about your intimate thoughts?
I can do that.
Not in front of the ladies.
I like the I mean, we did so many different settings in the first campaign. I mean, we did underwater city, we did in the future, we did like a cyberpunk, environment. I guess if you count a little bit of, I wouldn't call it Fae, but damn it.
It was a cold mountain.
No,
There
there was the Cold Mountain. There was the Mountains of Madness. Dreamlands
The
we
little
did.
Village.
Yeah, the little village. I can't remember the name of the
Auburndale.
Auburndale. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and
We're
Richard.
in fake Egypt.
Fake Egypt. There was that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot about fake Egypt.
Yeah.
We were fake in fake Egypt, though.
Cairo.
We weren't actually in fake Egypt.
Yeah, Cairo. I like the island environment. That's not one that I've done before specifically. And I also like that this is specifically high fantasy. We're not no technology or anything like that in the mix. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But-
And it's confined. So
Yeah.
it's like we can't just decide to run off in the wilderness.
Well, there's there's very tangible stakes and consequences. They're just like, I'm just gonna go into a portal just
just
gonna
walking
go
to the
else.
city, we got attacked by gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like what the heck? I did not expect to run into gorillas. Deep one hybrids or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And so that threw me off. I'm like, wait, we're just going to get attacked while we're walking somewhere? What is this? That's not fair.
That's too damn bad.
Too damn bad.
The dangers of the jungle.
Mm-hmm. I like even though Xerothin doesn't quite show it, I do like the interactions with everyone's characters. I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it is a lot of fun, definitely.
The dynamic of all 4 of us, because all of us are wildly different. Even
and that was good because at the beginning of the campaign, like we were struggling to interact, and then by the nature of it being a D&D campaign, it sort of pushed us together. But like we're all having to learn each other a little bit, like we're friends, friendly acquaintances from the boat. And now all of a sudden we're like in these tunnels together fighting for our lives, by the end of the season. And we're like, we're getting closer to each other, and not even because all of us want to, but because all of us realize it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are sort of driven by our own, personal whims and motives. I say whims and motives because Rufus was like a whim. To do this, and so it's really interesting because we don't even necessarily have a unified goal other than figure out what's going on. And if something bad is happening, we probably all want it to stop. But that's not even the primary goal for everyone. So that makes it really cool. So I do think the dynamic of all our characters works well together, and it's fun interacting. It's fun for me interacting with Max and Richard in ways that we didn't interact with in the last campaign.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, character dynamics amongst the three of us especially are just incredibly different.
The other thing I'll say is doing the voice that I do is a huge mistake. It hurts to do.
I could have told you that.
I like doing it though.
Actually, that voice doesn't bother me at all.
But I'm not very used to it. So there has been a couple of instances where I'm recording, be like, I have to get water. My voice is cracking. This hurts.
yeah. Like my Victor voice, I don't think hurt me as much as your Xerothin voice does. Cause mine is more guttural. I almost did it just now, I can just, I just sort of speak and then I just add a little growl to the back of it. But you're doing this.
Yeah. Like I am like trying to like vibrate my entire voice box as hard as possible when I'm doing the voice.
My growl is like just pretending to do your voice just now. The Victor growl was more guttural, like near the bottom of my throat, where the Xerothin growl has to go all the way through the back of your entire throat. It has to get up into the top. And so that's what makes it a lot harder. Voice acting is really neat.
It hurts.
Well,
It really is.
I took like when I was in film school, I was in an audio class and we talked about voice acting for a very short period in there. And we were talking about different accents and how people from different regions and different cultures speak from different parts of their mouth, So like a Russian accent comes from the very back of your mouth, and like, but like the French is, now I am speaking and I am sort of in the front, the upper part of my mouth. Those aren't very good accents, but
Give it a shot.
Interesting because where you put your voice in your mouth helps form how it sounds, and it's really interesting. And so the Xerothin voice I don't envy at all.
Long story short.
And now, alongside the Richard Collins instructional courses, you can now get Acting 101 with Stephen Side.
You don't want to take that course.
Unless you want to pay me.
It'd be about as organized as me when I'm going through what happened previously in the show. Why do I do all these summaries when we could just take the summaries of what I did before the play sessions and just cut them all together real quick? I'm kidding. So how did I end up doing all the summaries? How did I don't
know.
That's a good question.
I'm very appreciative though, because it's a lot of fucking work.
You wanted it you wanted a summary, so it was better for you to remember everything by re-listening to it and typing it up.
Yeah. And then it was just easier for me because I knew what I typed to go through the month. So sorry, that's why I'm your host for Microphones and Morons.
How do you feel about the season? Because I don't think we actually asked you, even though you've been talking about it mostly.
Who, me? Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was cool.
Cool.
No, I mean I've said a lot about it, but I mean I've enjoyed a whole lot of parts of the season. So like at the very beginning when all of us are introducing our characters, the first scene ever. I believe we talked about it before, but like the three of you all had things planned out with Adam, and my thing was pay attention to yours and fit in there somewhere. Find a reason for you to follow someone and then do that. And that's what I did. And I was just like, does Lucius' clothes have any tassels on it? Like I was just getting in the
which
cat
I thought was
mindset.
fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know if all of that got into the actual episode. If you're a patron, you can go back and listen to the sort of session recording, and you can hear me talking about it a little bit more, because I was like looking for a reason to follow any of these people, you know. And so but what I think my favorite part about the season is how well my character sort of integrated into what was going on. And I've really enjoyed, you know, just, you know, not necessarily being the comic relief, but being like the little character that kind of sits on the sideline and reacts to everything.
You're the lighthearted, optimistic one.
Exactly. And you know, Adam and I discussed it, and you know, I'm like kind of like a little cartoon cat essentially. You know, which is why I'm always making quips, because in cartoons things cut away and no time passes. And so it's I've just really enjoyed that, because the three of you all have something crazy, horrible going on in your backstories. Who knows what it is? You know, you have all these glimpses of murder and things burning and, you know, tromping through the forest, and
we're all just victims of trauma, and you're just like still new to the world and like happy about everything.
All right, let's go, guys. And so that's been the best part for me, is that I spent, you know, the last campaign having to think real hard and working in my backstory at just the right spots, you know, and like, how much do I reveal here? And Adam's trying to pull it out, but my character wouldn't let it come out yet, so he's not gonna. And now it's just like, you know, like, oh man, you know, this is an adventure, you know. I'm like
you don't have to spend too much meta thinking about like, what do I not want to say right now.
I just say what I think, because that's what cats do. I mean, I got, when I sit down to record, I shut my office door, and the cat was meowing at my door because she wanted to come in and sit on my couch, and I had to tell her no. And then I decide to let her in, and then she sits on the couch, and we're about to start, and then she's sitting there meowing in my ear, and I can't let her meow on the microphone. Yeah. That's what I do. And so I had to send her out.
Don't take that from me.
People might get Keiko confused with Rufus, because they're both cats.
Yeah. And the audience members might get Beauregard and Henna confused with Xerothin being loud and obnoxious.
But yeah, this season was so super fun. Hopefully the next season will be fun, and you know, we'll all continue to have fun.
So much fun has been had.
I enjoy being overly dramatic and over the top. It is a lot of fun.
I've noticed.
I have such a riot doing it.
I mean, I'll agree with that. It is very fun.
Yeah, and we're already halfway done with recording the next season.
Halfway?
I guess.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
It's not going well.
It is, though.
Well, I mean, I'm having
That's
fun.
Fine.
From a certain point of view.
Story's moving along.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is. Stay tuned. Next season's it's got some throwing some curveballs at you. So
yeah,
please
we're done
enjoy.
with the initial character development and all that.
It's like garbage.
As it's been picking up, like the second half of this first season, like it's going to continue to ramp up.
Yep.
I just want to take a few moments of silence for the death of the drunk in the jail. I would argue best character of season 1. You'll be sorely missed.
We have any fan favorites, like fan favorite NPCs in season 1?
That's because they all died.
Most of them don't live very long.
It's like here's like 12 people's names to remember on the ship, you know, or whatever.
So many notes.
Don't worry, you won't have to remember them that long.
It's like, oh, you met the captain and the first mate. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to remember the triplets' names. You don't need to remember the twins. You don't need to remember the cook. You know, you don't need to remember the construct.
Oh yeah,
that guy that we literally never interacted with.
Still, yeah, oh man,
Yeah.
He's still swabbing the deck while the guy's trying to fix it around him.
Yeah.
All right, somebody write that down. That's going to be important later.
And I think moving forward, we're gonna start to see more regular NPCs. Maybe some
It
new
depends
fan
on what we do.
favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said Nebby, and I was like, no, she died.
No, she died.
Yeah.
Good time.
'Cause we
So,
had a
Adam,
lot
how
of.
do you feel about this season? I don't think anybody ever asked you.
True.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter.
I threw in some stuff. I don't remember.
You don't remember the season? I
No,
broke down
no.
notes.
I don't remember
The stuff
everything
he
that
said.
I've put into y'all's stuff, like answering questions.
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
What was your
I
favorite
think
thing?
for this season, I got to try and separate because I really like some stuff that happened in the next season.
You heard it here first. This season sucks.
No, I'm just trying to like cut it off. I think my favorite moment was the ship.
Oh, I like
I
the
did like
skill
the
check
ship.
challenge or
Yeah.
just the
Yeah,
in
the-
general?
like when the storm hit. I feel like that was probably one of my favorite moments.
That got pretty intense.
I just love
it was
confusing.
it was all happy-go-lucky up to that point, and it was just
I got
like
that
y'all
boner.
trying to build these relationships with each other and the NPCs, and then like that it changed from like this slow kind of just normal kind of campaign.
We're on an adventure.
Yeah, on an adventure, and it's just shut that off, and everything is gonna suck from here on out.
I mean, I'm still on an adventure.
Yeah.
Rufus is still on an adventure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was my favorite part, just because that transition, because y'all weren't expecting that. I mean, y'all were probably expecting something, but
I mean, expecting something, but that got pretty intense pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
the
I didn't
way it
expect
all
the
played
ship
out
to come apart,
was
and then for us to get attacked by deep ones on the way on like the little ship.
it all just went to in just all kinds of chaos with everyone running around doing, useful things or not useful things in some particular examples.
because y'all
I
were
think my
new to
favorite-
being on a ship. Like y'all just learned what you just learned in the past few weeks or something.
Yeah. The only ships I remember are the ones that travel through space and have cool, crazy aliens on them. Nautical ships are terrifying.
The other favorite thing, like it's not just like a moment, but I really like being able to use dread to its full potential now.
I don't.
And it is influencing what you do, because you have to get creative and come
Yeah.
up with stuff.
Can't go through the
Yeah.
bone room.
It makes certain characters have to pivot in a way. Like I try to be the big scary murder lion man, and then I goes like, yeah, that room's scary, and be like, I'm not afraid of a bone room, but I have to be for
I'm so
rules.
unafraid of this bone room. I'm
Yes.
not wasting my time.
Yes,
I'm
it's
just
like
going the other
this
way.
room is stupid. We're leaving.
I don't like this room. This room looked at me funny. I'm gonna go away.
But that's fun, and you play into the situation a little bit better, other than just be like, well, no, it doesn't apply to me because I'm a big scary murder man. I'm not scared of nothing.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot easier for me. I don't like that. I'm scared. That's a scary room.
And how I definitely like how Xerothin is gonna pretend to not be scared and stuff like that, but like the fear that y'all are getting is enough to like keep you from going somewhere. I definitely. And Lucius, while Lucius has knowledge, or his roles have been so good that we can associate him with having knowledge of all these eldritch things and stuff like that, but he can still be just as terrified of it, probably more so because he
not more
knows
so.
about it.
Mhm.
Like even though Lucius has a pretty good will save, wisdom save rather, having a high wisdom and being cleric and all that kind of stuff, thanks to the Xerothin, it's not so great.
No.
Yep. I remember. I picked that at the beginning of the last campaign. I'm like, oh, I'll know about stuff. That's cool. And Adam's like, yeah, plus you have, just.
Oh yeah, sure. This is all definitely stuff you want to know about.
I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be fine.
I'm sure every time I roll a Yogg-Sothoth, it'll be just fine.
Great.
Mhm.
Nothing bad could happen.
Oh, well, you know that this bad guy has this weakness right here in the spot. But also, if you get anywhere near that spot, your mind will turn into jello and you'll scream for the rest of existence.
Oops.
And so you have 3 levels of dread now, and you're a little puddle.
Good luck.
It's like, you know that information, but now you're completely incapacitated and can't speak. like that. It's not always helpful, you know?
No.
Because, like, when I make a dexterity saving throw, it's like, you were agile and got out of the way. And I'm like, yes!
I did that.
There are no negative consequences to this. It's delightful. Also, I don't know if I emphasized it enough, but, you know, the ghast bit the angel on its wing tube. It's wing tube.
Yes.
Highlight
I
of the
was just
last
thinking of-
episode of the season.
For some reason, I was thinking like hollow bone tube. It's with the wings attached to it, like just like
The wing tube.
Like, I guess what would be the bird's arm, essentially?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be some sort of, you know, horrible monstrosity anyway. It could have wing tubes. You don't know.
It probably does.
Yeah.
They probably have a couple eyes on them just, you know, for flavor.
The wing tube is full of blood.
It popped the eyes on the wing tube as it bit down.
Oh, my eyes.
But that's the season. We're done forever. You get no resolution.
We are done
The
with the
end.
first season of the second campaign forever. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
quick-
season 1 of campaign 2 of Microphones and Monsters.
Quick 2-minute break. I
Wow.
have to pee really bad.
Okay.
Now we all talk about how terrible a character Xerothin is.
Is that what you do about
How
Rufus
does it
when
have
I
to
go
be
pee?
that way?
I like
He's
it.
so mean. Why is he so mean? I tried to lecture him into not being mean. It did not work.
I mean, Izzodath tried avoidance maneuvers at the beginning. It was futile.
Lucius has tried pleading with him.
Lean into the murder. Love it. Embrace it.
Meanwhile, he can't ever hit the enemy.
Or when he does, it didn't work.
I'm pretty sure that
Your
Rufus,
hammer arm bounced off the Uzi unman
Yeah.
and did no damage whatsoever.
Rufus and Izzodath have way outkilled Xerothin.
I think so.
Which is
I
great.
haven't like tallied it up. Although Rufus did steal a few kills from underneath, literally from underneath Xerothin's nose. It's like Xerothin's like smash, 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 you know, extra attack, you know, and Rufus is like slash. I got him! Yay!
That is how it's happened. Yeah.
We killed him real good, didn't we, Xerothin? You stole my kill. Like Xerothin would be like the worst little like 15-year-old Call of Duty, you know, sitting there. He's trying to snipe someone and someone just runs up and hits him with a shotgun and runs back off and he's just cursing at them.
I don't know if this is like what he was necessarily going for or not, but it feels to me almost just like a just real huge, like over the top parody of like a murder hobo. Like, just take the idea and run with it.
And
An overly dramatic murder hobo.
as we talk about how horrible Max's character murders, he's standing over there petting a cat on a tree.
And the shadow following me.
Like you do.
Yeah, yeah. We were just talking about all the great aspects of Xerothin's character
Okay.
while you were gone.
So,
Like the murder.
silence.
I like the I do like having an evil character in the campaign. I wasn't sure how it would play out, but I think it's played out very well because it's still just like you're still doing things because it helps your goal. It's in your best interest.
Yeah.
I think the main thing with having mixed parties is they have to be collaborative. Like it only works if all parties involved are willing to work with each other.
Yeah, yeah. And like Rufus and Xerothin are willing to fight with each other. we will tag team and kill this thing that's trying to kill both of us so that we can progress our goal of solving this mystery and get paid, save the town, and or find Casper. And so
and kill. I mean, it's the having, again, good and evil characters. One, it's very hard to, get people to progress towards a goal and be like, oh, well, you should do it because it's the right thing to do and you got to save the town and stuff like that. It also is very fun about different perspectives and utility to solve obstacles, where it's not so much as simple as, well, you got to go save the town, and go defeat the great evil or something like that. And it's just like, well, you could also side with the great evil and be like, hey, I'll actually go in and get the thing that you actually want out of the town instead of like raising the town to get that thing that you wanted. Not to say that of course that didn't happen in this particular campaign, but
no, I'm not going to help do that.
But it's fun, and I feel like some campaigns you kind of get blinded by always following like the good path, and I feel like there is a lot of room for gray area and stuff like that, and not just taking stuff at face value. Be like, well, we got to help the town because the town's good. Is the town good? Is this faith good? Really? I mean, when you think about it, it's their word against yours. Maybe you should, think about it a little bit.
Nah, I like playing good characters. So what you're trying
to say is Xerothin is a thinking man's character.
No.
Murder. Kill. Hunt.
Everybody's not making choices based on what they consider right or wrong.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is works for me or doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Well, I think our party has a good balance because like the three sort of, I'm assuming you guys are close to good or at least neutral. And so like the three of us are like sort of constantly pushing against you just being like, violence will solve the problem, and we're like, well, what if we do this more strategic thing? And you're like, we're going this way. And you're so much bigger and more intimidating than the rest of us. We all, can fight, in different ways, to different abilities. But, none of us want to fight each other. You don't necessarily want to fight us, but you would.
I would.
And I think if you were going to do something truly evil that we all thought that you shouldn't be doing, we would probably try to stop you. And so I think that that's a good balance, because we're sort of tempering each other, in a way where it still can all make sense that we're not just like, you're not just like, like Cartman saying, screw you guys.
You're not at each other's. You're not at each other's throat the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like you just have this understanding of like, let's, and compromise. You just have the understanding and compromise. In some instances.
I look forward
instead of, Victor and Julian hugging each other at the end of every other episode, having a special moment.
I look forward to Adam testing the very stable bonds that all of our characters have made by intentionally putting something in that'll make Xerothin go apeshit.
It should be a good time.
Mm-hmm. It will be a good time for all of the listeners.
Sneak it, go.
I think did we have any questions this month?
I didn't see any.
I didn't see any. Did we ask for any?
We did.
I asked for them a couple times last week and this week.
Let's see. Do last chance
for romance.
Really? No, it doesn't look like it. So I mean,
no questions.
I mean, that's fine. We're good. We don't care.
It's a busy weekend.
Ask us questions.
It means we described everything perfectly.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
No questions.
There is no room. We did
for
have
questions.
A couple people commenting, and some people are a little bit behind, and so they just started the campaign, and so, so that's good, and we're excited about them listening. So when you catch up, just know that we noticed you, and we're appreciative, even if you're a little bit behind.
Yeah, and I will say, like the new season, like in the analytics, I am seeing that people are slowly trickling back into getting caught up with the new campaign, which probably more
I think
so
that's pretty
now,
natural.
being able to binge
Yeah.
a big chunk of episodes now.
Well, now they got to binge a whole season.
Yeah.
Boom. It's only 42 episodes. You can listen to it in a couple of days if you
Yeah.
just don't do anything else.
They're nice bite-sized episodes other
Yeah,
than
they are.
Morons.
Yeah, they are short.
Morons is special.
It's special, all right.
Special.
It's especially special.
Didn't invite you on to
The
make fun of me,
specialist.
Sarah. We
Well-
talked about this at the beginning of the season.
Recommendations.
I'm nice to you at the beginning, and then I got to bully you a little, and then I'll be nice to you at the end.
Okay.
Then you're in a relationship, okay? That's how it happens. Recommendations. I talked about it briefly, but yes, recommendation. If anyone owns a Nintendo Switch, please pick up Metroid Prime Remastered. That game
Yeah,
is
I'll come by your house and pick it up.
all the fun. I can give you my Switch. I got it on my Switch.
Oh, you don't have like the physical?
No. I
cartridge?
bought it digital because I wanted it
Okay.
day one.
See.
Because I
See, I
played
buy
it
the
as soon as
cartridge
it
because
came
I
out.
want it every day for the rest of my life. Anyway,
But I am shit. Which one am I? I've been
yes, you are.
That's so rude. I'm trying to figure out what book I'm on. I'm on book 4 of Expeditionary Force. That's a trip. That's a lot of fun. I
started the most recent book of that, Aftermath.
I think there are like is it like 13 books or something like that?
No, I think that's book 15. It may
Oh,
be
God.
16. Yeah, there's a lot of books.
Yeah.
And there's also there's a spin-off series that came from it, and there's like a 0.5 book in there too.
Yeah, there was I finished the 3.5, which was Trouble on Paradise,
Mhm.
which was cool because it was a different perspective of like one of the key factions. Anyway, if you're a big fan of, I would call it atypical sci-fi, where it's more thinking and espionage, where it's not like, always big giant space battles and all good times, and a lot of like the inner workings and politics but behind like several different kinds of species within a galaxy and how they all interact and stuff, and humans being very 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 low on the totem pole and like horribly outnumbered and outclassed. It's fun. Good time.
And Aftermath is book 16.
Cool.
I
got
think
a
you
lot.
can pre-order 17 now, but yeah.
I was about to say,
Got a ways to go.
Amazon's got
They're so
a
good.
lot of money for me because I just use Audible and I got the premium account, so I get 3 credits every month and I burn through those almost every month. Outside of that, I would play a lot of World of Warships. I've played a lot of World of Warships. I've never played that game before. I like boats. Boats are fun, especially when boats got big guns on it.
Are you able to like kill like the bugs and rats that are on the ship?
No, unfortunately.
Sounds like my kind of good time,
No, but you kill other people's bugs and rats
That's
on their
boring.
boat. So really, you're doing
That's-
them a
By
favor.
sinking the entire ship.
Yes.
Mhm.
Boring.
Does your ship ever get attacked by just random storms?
It can be attacked by random ground if I'm not paying attention on where I'm going, and then run my ship aground. That happens a lot.
Mhm.
But it's free on PC and Xbox and everywhere. There's like a bunch of different nations, a bunch of different kinds of ships, and different commanders you can put on the ship, and daily, weekly banner events, stuff like that. It's fun. I like it.
And to
And-
clarify, for the tryhards, he's playing World of Warships
Legends.
which is
I'm
slightly different than
Yeah.
just straight World of Warships.
Yeah. I'm not, if I play on the actual World of Warships on PC where they have submarines, I'm not going to have a fun time because submarines are bullshit. Aircraft carriers are bullshit. And they still have those in Legends, but it's whatever.
And he's been playing on my Xbox, so it looks like I've been playing
Oh,
hours
yeah.
upon hours upon hours of World of Warships.
Everyone's
and
like,
it's not
what?
me.
Sarah's on Xbox is not playing with anybody. He's like, no, it's me.
I've been getting messages while I'm like still at work. Like, hey, are you online? I'm like, no.
So yeah, it's 4:00 on a Friday. I'll boot up some warships. I've been working real hard. Outside of that, I haven't really seen any movies or anything like that. I know Sarah and I are on season 3 or 4 of Psych right now, which
I'm
that shows
halfway through season 3, I think.
Which that show's awesome.
Yep, we're
It's fun.
rewatching.
I haven't watched through that all the way, but we stopped
It's
for
good.
a while. But
we've been kind of
funny.
binge watching like older shows that bring us joy.
I've been watching old stuff. I've been watching a lot of movies this month. So I went on a bit of a. My wife hadn't seen a lot of Robin Williams movies, and so we've watched a few. So we watched The Fisher King from 1991, which is very good. It's him and Jeff Bridges. It's a Terry Gilliam movie, and I'd say it's his it's his least like surreal movie, but it still has surreal stuff in it because it's Terry Gilliam. But that one's very good. And then I double featured that with What Dreams May Come, which has him and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Max von Sydow and all of that. That's both very good, sort of older Robin Williams movies from the 90s. I highly recommend both of them. Also, I watched a movie called from 2018. It's called Sorry to Bother You, and it's very interesting. I don't know if any of y'all have seen it.
I've heard of it.
Not even heard of it.
Yeah. You might have seen the trailer. The trailer is fun, and it gives you a decent idea of the first half, 2/3 of the movie. And then the movie takes a turn. And that's all I'm going to say. So watch the trailer. If it seems even mildly entertaining, go ahead and watch it and just wait for it.
Okay.
Just be on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
I like movies with a twist.
It's nuts. It's a crazy movie, and it's really funny, and it's done in you know, it's not it does a lot of unconventional type things. So it's pretty sweet. And we've also started rewatching the X-Men movies in preparation for the little new Deadpool movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've watched X-Men X2 and X-Men The Last Stand in the last like week or so. Man, X-Men The Last Stand isn't good.
No, it's not. It's very bad.
They really it's 2 movies worth of plot crammed into one movie, and neither one was done well. So, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. So that's a lot of fun. Someone else go now.
Well, if you're still watching through Robin Williams movies, my favorite, hands down, is The Birdcage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that one.
It is so good. I could watch that one every day of the week if I wanted to.
My mom has watched that one like at least 1,000 times because she's a big fan of.
I kind of like Robin Williams
and
acting
Nathan
dramatically. I like him dramatically almost more than I like him funny. A lot of the times.
This one's a little combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a satire more than anything. It's a comedy, but yeah, it's a good role for him. And of course, it has one of my other favorites. My brain just died.
Nathan Lane?
Yes, Nathan Lane. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like Max said, we're binging Psych right now, and then
we watched Dune. We watched we watched Dune Part 2.
I think we talked about
talked
Dune
about that
and
last time. Okay, never
Fallout.
mind.
Yeah.
I still
Last
haven't
time.
seen it. Oops.
Yeah, those are good.
Fallout
Otherwise,
was really good.
Fallout was a lot of fun.
Phenomenal.
Fallout was very fun.
I gotta watch that too.
Mhm.
I have friends
so
that
far
are
behind.
rewatching it already.
Mhm.
Like they binged it as soon as it came out, and now they're rewatching
Well,
it.
they're trying to
Oh,
pick
right.
out all the little Easter eggs they put in there about all the previous games and stuff.
We're in the
I
middle of
started watching it
Dexter.
right after we finished recording Morons because I was like, yeah, I need to start that. I watched it in like 3 days.
Yeah, I think
We're
we
still-
were 3, maybe 4 days.
We're in season 4 of Dexter now.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it's a good one. That's the season with John Lithgow in it.
Try to keep it short, but my recommendations, I'm going to start with The 8 Show. If you want a good like psychological comedy kind of thing, it's similar to Squid Games in a way. Like it's like that, but it's more focused on 8 individuals. And Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I finished that yesterday on Amazon. Like it was
The
so
new
good.
one?
Yeah, the new one with Donald Glover. And I liked it so much better because I did not like the movie because their relationship outside of them being agents made no sense, and why they would be together being like opposing agents. It didn't make any sense to me. I don't even remember the whole movie. I might have stopped watching it. I do that sometimes. If I don't, if something just doesn't make sense, I'm like, no, I'm done. But this show, it makes a whole lot of sense. And it's like, it's got good action. It's sexy too. Like it's fun. And Survivor season 46 just ended.
46. Good.
Many
46 seasons?
They do 2 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 a year. And it was, this is probably one of my,
23 years of Survivor?
yeah.
They're trying to
Where-
catch
where
up to
have
The
we-
Simpsons.
Like, where have we gone as like a civilization where we made 46 seasons of Survivor?
I love it. And I think that I kind of like this season more than a lot of the seasons just because
It's his 13th favorite season.
they really, it's not my favorite season, but yeah, it's up there.
Well, I mean, 13 is pretty high up there still.
13's pretty high up, and 42 or 46
Yeah, I mean,
or whatever it was.
I really didn't like most of the players like throughout the whole game. So I wasn't like even rooting for anybody at the end. I was just like, this person's gonna win because of the game that they played. But everybody was just so off the wall and different in the diversity with just people's personalities. It made for an entertaining season, even though I hated most of them.
Well, I will keep things pretty brief because I haven't really been watching much of anything in the past month. It's various things going on, but as far as games, still playing some of the other stuff that I've mentioned before, but recently I've been playing Axiom Verge, which I got from a Humble Bundle for Metroidvania games.
You playing the first one or the second one?
First
First
one,
one.
because I'd never played them before.
They're good.
So I wanted to give them a try. And yeah, it is like straight up some old school Metroid, like basically the same kind of experience as if you picked up Metroid for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is excellently done. And I'm really enjoying that. So definitely a big recommendation there. If you are interested in Metroidvanias, Humble Bundle does still have it up until I think through the end of May. So by the time you hear this, you might have to get on that pretty quick. But through the end of May, I think it is, there's still a Metroidvania Mania Humble Bundle for, I think it's $14 for like 8 games, something like that, which includes Axiom Verge 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish I were good at those kinds of games.
You don't have to be good at them. You just wander around endlessly until you eventually find
Unless-
things.
I'm not good at most of the games
I-
I play.
Unless you're,
I wander around aimlessly until I get killed by something, and then I have to start over, and then I wander the same direction, get killed by the same thing, and then I get frustrated
well, that's
and I
why
give up.
there's save points.
There's multiple paths.
The one thing that I can never do in Metroidvania games is do the 100%er where you find everything. I'll get to like the last 2 items and just like it's usually a puzzle that is really
Either
input
that-
sensitive. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it.
Either that or like the stuff where it's like, oh, well, this one specific block in this one specific corner of this one specific tile of the map
Yes.
has like one of the energy tanks in it.
Yes.
And so like if you don't know about it, the chances of finding it are just very low.
Or doing like a wall jump puzzle like for 2 minutes and like you'll misclick like one wall hop and then just fall all the way down. It's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. No.
Mhm.
Playing through them, I have a lot of fun. I don't think they would be very fun to 100%. At least, like, if you wanted to do that, like, learn how to do it, like, follow guides and stuff and do, like, speed runs of it, sure, that I can understand. But just wandering around aimlessly for 100% of stuff just sounds like such a slog to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Morons.
That's a
That's
moron.
a season.
Yeah, it's
A
a season.
season.
Yeah, we
That's a
just wrapped
season.
it up
We're
into
done.
one episode of Morons for the season and the
Well, this is the season-ending Morons.
yeah.
You know, what we've neglected to do is talk about all the previous Morons episodes. So go back and listen to those.
I mean, we never did that before, so I guess we're going to have a recap of all of the Morons all the way back, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, so the first Morons, there was a lot less energy because I wasn't sure when I was allowed to talk.
And then we told you should just talk all the time, and then it kind of changed everything.
It was all
and now the show's
downhill
much better
from there. I mean, it's better.
It's better, Max.
We don't go down here, okay?
Don't make me kick you off my show.
Okay.
Down is a bad direction.
I'll just bump into Sarah's office during the recording and just self-insert at random parts.
We ought to try that. We ought to just put him in the background and he just has to yell real loud to be heard. That would be pretty fun.
Oh, I mean, that'll happen naturally if that was the case. Be yelling at the dogs or anything, or stub my toe.
He has a naturally loud timbre.
Yes. Or fart really loud. That'll probably pick up.
Yep.
Well,
Sounds
we'll be
good.
coming back July 1st. Season 6, season 2 of Ghoul Island. We'll be back.
Of Microphones and Monsters.
Yes.
Ghoul Island.
A creative typo
Season 2.
production.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you again to our patrons.
If you're not a patron, consider supporting us on Patreon for special unedited, raw, unhinged recordings.
Yes. If you would like your episodes to sound like the nonsense you just heard for the past hour and a half, then being a patron is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And also we'd be grateful, and it will help us, do more. And if you can't be a patron, we totally get it. It's super cool. Share with your friends. If you like this, then chances are people you like might also like it, and let them know about it. Now people can listen to the entire first season of this campaign. They can listen to an entire previous campaign if they want. And so there's plenty of stuff for you to share. So please do so. It will help us out greatly.
A few people at work, because we'll do icebreaker introductions with new groups, like, tell us something that someone doesn't know about you. It's like, I record a D&D podcast and I've been doing so for almost 5 years now, and they're like, what? Okay, where do I look it up? It's like, you look it up anywhere for podcasts. Go to Spotify right now. I was like, you record all of this? I'm like, yeah, been doing it for a while. Hundreds of episodes.
Recommended us to somebody in the industry that I work with last week when I was traveling for work. We were talking about podcasts, and he said something about D&D podcast, and I leaned in. I was like, so you like D&D podcasts, do you? Have I got the show for you?
Opportunity.
And then he
was like, yeah, but I don't like you.
Right.
And then you can tell him to listen to the first campaign. Yeah. Listen to the first campaign if you don't like Sarah.
Yeah, if you don't want to hear my voice, just listen to those first 3 seasons. It's fine. And then I was wearing my Mikes and Monsters Campaign 1 t-shirt at the grocery store the other day, and we recommended the show to the cashier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were picking up stuff for dinner, and they were like, yeah, it's, I couldn't bring myself to shill out the podcast, but Sarah did it on my behalf. So thank you.
That's what we need, because I feel like we previously just didn't like shilling.
I was too locked up with brand and not embarrassment, but I was too shy to talk about it. I was like, sure.
There are people everywhere who share interests, so please share with your friends. That's the moral of the story.
There you go.
That's the moral of the story.
Is that a Dungeons and Dragons thing all the time? Because I just wear the Microphones and Monsters logo on my hat.
Yeah, I have a different hat that also has our logo on it, and I get the same question. What's that? And I say, that's the podcast I'm on.
I'm gonna need a new Microphones and Morons shirt, because mine is, I've worn it so many times, I've washed it so many times, it is just become destroyed. So you barely tell what's on there anymore.
You said Mikes
I'm
and
pretty
Morons.
much in the same boat too.
I did.
We need a Mikes and Morons t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
With this campaign's art on it. Because that's one thing we don't have is a Morons shirt.
Well, something we've been transitioning to, and then we can end with the merch, is trying to get it to where it's all sublimation and it doesn't fade really bad like the digital print. does. So
Oh, cool.
we're trying to get to where it's that. We do have some shirts still that are screen printing, and they do last longer too. But they're very simple. We got an AFQ shirt, and the homebrew was part of the homebrew stuff, I think.
And I have to stress
Cool.
this, that shirt got destroyed because I wore it all the time. Because
Yeah.
I had,
Mhm.
I was very self-absorbed. Like, I have a shirt for the podcast that I am on, so of course I
I mean,
wore it
it
all
is
the
the-
damn
yeah.
time.
You
Yeah.
see this
It is
monster
the
on my
easiest way to
shirt?
break
That's
the
me.
ice.
It's like, oh, what character you play? I play this horrible looking monster man, but he's really nice. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, my handful of Creative Typo t-shirts are in my weekend lineup of the
Mhm.
like 6 t-shirts I always go to. So
Mhm. But yeah, just keep listening. We'll see you guys in July.
Mhm.
Let your friends know. Now is the time to get other people interested so that they can listen to the premiere when it comes out and they can catch up.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us, especially a little long today. But we're so appreciative, and we want you all to have a wonderful June.
Bye,
Yes.
everyone.
Happy June.
thank you all.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you in July.
Bye.
You mean June?
July.
No, we won't see them in June. We'll
No,
see them in July.
break in June.
Oh, okay.
Max, you've ruined the outro.
No, I didn't.
Do it over.
Okay.
Next time on Microphones and Monsters. I need to say something as Rufus, and that way I can get into the voice. DC 15 con save when taking more than half your HP.
And now do more as Steven. Next time on Microphones and Monsters. That one was stupid. Next time on Microphones and Monsters?
Ha ha. No fun.